Good evening, ladies. How are we? My name is Stephanie. For those of you that don't know me, I am your coach, curator of the Amazing Women Who Don't Drink group. So, hello, new ladies. Come and say hello. We love it when you say hello. If you haven't done it already, then please watch the pinned video at the top of the page, which is a welcome video. It will explain where everything is. And please watch the 4 everything you need to know about alcohol videos in the file section before you make any decisions about what you're doing. You need to watch that before you, so you can figure out whether it's safe for you to reduce, take a break or stop, depending on what it is you need to do. And please feel free to ask questions if you don't know where anything is. Yes, because there's lots of free resources to help you on your journey. Now, just so that you know, if anybody's interested, we have 1 place left for the ladies only retreat at the end of April. So let me know if you're interested in that. We've just got 1 place left. Hi Regina, hi Delia, nice to see you. And I'll be updating that information. I'll probably send it out tomorrow. I actually have got a nutritionist coming to talk about foods that we need to be focusing on, and also supplements in terms of, you know, after we've had a period of drinking, so that's good. But tonight's video is about motivation, because in March we've been doing some posts about motivation, just really little things. Now, really little things are important because you just pick one and you do one, okay? So they're really simple, but the more you do them, the easier they become, and they actually help you to feel better. So that's why you'll hear me say a lot about pick something, and pick something small, and then do it consistently so that you build a habit. What that does is it helps you build on success. It helps you to feel good, and it shows you that you can make changes. So that's why we've been doing the March motivator posts, to give you a range of different tips. I mean, it's great if you have a go at all of them, that's brilliant, but you could pick the most important one for you. So whether that's exercise, being outside, being more mindful, not moundful, you know, kindness, eating vegetables, those type, water, you know, whatever it is, it's about picking one thing and being consistent. But I want to build on that a bit, really, because motivation, you know, it's really interesting, motivation. I love talking to people about motivation and figuring out what their motivation is and helping them to really hone that down and get specific about it, because it's like that elusive thing, you know, that feeling. And when we get it right, it's like rocket fuel. And there are some tricks that, once we know what our motivation is, some tips that I'm going to talk about tonight to help you stay motivated. Now, no one is motivated all the time, okay? It's just not possible. I am a great believer in the ebb and flow and the rhythm of life, and we all have a rhythm, we all do, and some of our rhythms are different to others. You know, I can be incredibly motivated and then I can have down times, you know, and I just sort of go with that and don't give myself a hard time about it. You know, I've had years where I've been super fit and super healthy, and then I have periods of time where I'm not really that motivated to that, and I might be more motivated to something else. So don't give yourself a hard time, okay? There is an ebb and flow, there is a rhythm. Sometimes we do have to force ourselves to do little things to help ourselves, but then, you know, sometimes it can take time to build that motivation, all right? But just, I suppose, just don't give up, be patient and persist. And we talk about that a lot anyway, don't we, on this page? But anyway, motivation, right. Finding your motivation, your why. And this doesn't have to be about alcohol. In fact, I would encourage you to play around with this, with stuff that isn't alcohol related, because sometimes when we focus on alcohol, so if alcohol is really important to you, you know, in terms of changing your drinking, try this out with something that isn't alcohol related, so that you can figure it out and sort of notice, you know, what's working for you, and then maybe you can apply it to the alcohol, okay? We can use this for absolutely anything. This is sort of about how we find motivation, how we build on motivation, how we build desire, and then how we keep going and we keep that in our heads to keep us on track. The trick to this is to make it specific, but also it has to I know it's obvious, but it has to be motivating to you. Now, because normally what we get is when I talk to people, we get these general comments like, oh, because I want to lose weight, or because I want to be more healthy, or because, it's the right thing to do for my children, that type of stuff. Very general. Now, that's not to say that isn't the case, but usually it's more specific than that. And when we drill that down, then that's when we can find the thing that really motivates you. For instance, when I first stopped drinking, the thing that I found motivating was pure fear, and actually what the specific, I can't even say it, you know the word, the specifics behind that were that I didn't want to put myself or others at risk again. So that's very specific. Do you see what I mean? And now my motivation to not drink is about health. General, okay, but if we dig underneath that, specifically that's about the risk, my risk of cancer. So and there are reasons for that. So very specific, okay. We'll all have different things to motivate us, and our motivation will change as time goes on, as we learn things. That's why I talk about consuming, reading blogs, listening, watching videos, following different people, because there'll be different things that give you those light bulb moments as you peel back the onion. But I do love to have a session with someone about motivation to really drill that down. It can be really useful. Okay, so let me give you an example so you can see. I was working with a lady quite a while ago, and she wanted to take a break from drinking because she wanted to lose weight. Very general, a lot of women will probably say that. So I was like, okay, let's be a little bit more specific, let's find it motivating, And when it came down to it, it was that she had a wedding to go to in a couple of months. So nice short time frame that's achievable, okay? And the amount of weight that she wanted to lose was achievable as well. That's the other thing. Like, what's really interesting around weight loss can be, yeah, I want to lose, a stone in a month. And I'm not saying that isn't possible, but I'm like, okay, that's quite a lot. Putting quite a lot of pressure. So it has to be achievable as well. So in 2 months' time, she was going to a wedding, and she had a specific dress that she wanted to get into. And she'd been drinking quite a bit, and she knew she'd done the work on her calories. She knew that she was consuming a lot of extra calories. So it's very specific. So she was motivated. The bottom line was she was motivated to get into this dress for the wedding. See what I've done there? Really, really specific, okay? Now, once you have that and you know what it is, it's about keeping that in the forefront of your mind. Now, because this was a dress that she wanted to get into, then what she did was she had the dress hanging on the outside of her wardrobe. So in the morning when she got up, when she was trying on her clothes, when she was going to bed, she could see the dress. Now, this doesn't always work because it's very specific and very individual. For her, it did work, and I checked that because we had a conversation about it. She was motivated towards losing the weight. That won't work for everyone, okay? This is the thing about it being very individual, and motivation, why it isn't clear cut. So there was that constant visual reminder. So she's got a nice short time frame, a constant visual reminder, but also we checked about how she was going to do that. So she also had the action in there as well. So it's not just about motivation is great, and desire is brilliant, and you know, cleaning up your motivation, knowing exactly how you want it to be and checking that that feels motivation, that's great. And then it's reverse engineering, you know, how are you actually going to achieve that, and putting the actionable steps in place. Now this is quite simple. It's 2 months and she was going to cut the booze out completely, which she knew was going to, and just cut the rubbish out. So no crisps, no chocolate, no cake. So actually quite easy and achievable. You know, she was just going to eat normally, not give herself a hard time, drink water, not drink alcohol, and she did it because she was motivated, because there was that constant visual reminder. Now, once you have your once you know what your motivation is, your why, and you have it nice and specific like that, and you've also checked, you know, you reverse engineered it and you checked that you've got your, you know, you can put the actions in and you actually can achieve it, then what I want you to do is I want you to, as well as using the visual reminder, like, you write it out. So this can be really powerful. So in 2 months' time, I will have lost 1 stone in weight so that I can, or half a stone or whatever it was, so that I can wear the dress on the wedding day. On the wedding day, I'll wear the dress and I'll feel amazing and I'll look da-da-da-da-da. So it's quite specific. It's just a few lines, okay, about being really clear about what it is. Now, as well as the visual thing about seeing it, it's also about reading that every day. Now, twice a day if you can, reading it a few times if you can say it out loud. Now, what this does is it's a constant reminder and it helps you build the desire. So this thing about giving your brain something to focus on, that I talk about quite a lot. So if you're you know, you're saying it and you're saying it out loud, or you're reading it, and you do that twice a day, and you can feel that feeling of motivation. So what you're doing is you're keeping it on your agenda, you're building desire, and that's essentially what motivation is desire. It's a feeling, and that's the thing that keeps you going. But remember, you have to have the actionable steps as well. It's great if you feel motivated and you have desire, but what are the actionable steps that you need to do to take it as well? Okay, so it's really, really important. Now, to help with the motivation with this, any visual reminder is going to work. So pictures, you know, if you were going on holiday, you know, if your children were a motivation, pictures of your children, even a song can be really motivating if it means that to you. Words, reminders, we've talked about words. And when you do that, it will connect you with the feeling and keep that desire, you know, on. So it'll keep you consistent, okay, and keep the desire going. So what we've talked about there is motivation, being specific with your why so that that feels motivating for you, and also different tips so that you can keep the desire in place and to keep it going. But you have to be able to reverse engineer it and take the actionable steps, okay? Motivation and desire will get you started, but then it's the action. But if you read it out loud every day and you have those visual reminders, and that's going to help you to keep the desire there as well. Now, with motivation, if you want to have a play around with this, you can pick something really simple. It can be really simple, like, you know, when we did the fitness challenge, I picked just doing some exercise 3 times a week. I was probably going once a week, doing something once a week. Obviously walking every day, but I wasn't really doing. So I picked something really simple that I would go to the gym 3 times a week. I knew that was easily achievable for me. It was one thing, okay? And I did it every week. So I booked it in my diary and I went every week. Now, I also talked about it in this group, so I was accountable. So that's the other part of it as well. So motivation, desire, I took the actionable steps, but then I used the accountability as well. Now, when you put things out there, and this is why I love this group, and we've got some changes coming up to help you with that, I will keep you posted. Using the accountability and support in this group is going to help you as well, okay? So there's a few key points there. I hope you find that useful. pick something. It can be anything. It could be, you know, I'm going to do an evening class once a week, but just have a play around with it and see how it works, and then when you're ready you can transfer that to alcohol as well, okay? But I want you to remember, whatever it is, whatever you pick, whatever your goal is, you know, if you really, really want it and it's achievable and you can do the actionable steps, don't give up. Persist and progress, not perfection, okay? No one is perfect. I lose count of how many times I say this, but no one is perfect, and I have had the privilege of sitting in front of thousands and thousands of people, so I'm not just saying that to be nice. Everything I say is based on what I've seen working with thousands of people. So absolutely no one is perfect. And when we focus on progress and not perfection, small actionable steps, baby steps, then we start to feel better and we start to feel that we can do things, and we just go from there. So I hope you found that useful. I would love to know what you're working on at the moment and what you would like to build motivation on. If you can tell me in the comments, that's great, and we can have a little conversation about that. Otherwise, I will see you soon with some exciting updates, I think. I'll just check. I think I had some... We've got lots of lovely people saying hello, which is really nice. And I stuck my hand in front of the in front of the camera then. Hi Mandy, hi Jessie, Amy, Anne. Oh, Anne, I hope you're feeling better soon. Lorraine, Regina. Yes, reasonable small-term goals. Yeah, don't make it too big. Don't make it unachievable, you know, and then you just get overwhelmed. It's silly. Exercise. Regina, you're going to do some exercise. That's brilliant. And Delia wants to sort her sugar out. Okay, so Delia, what's your motivation? What's your why for that? Post in the comments. Let's have a little conversation about that, and we can see if we can't get really specific about your motivation there and get you started and build the desire. Okay, thank you ladies, see you soon, bye.